Hey everyone, my name is Sima. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite makeup of 2020. Now that the year is wrapping up, I figured it was time to kind of look back on all the products I used and what I liked and what I didn't like. I'll also be doing a worst of 2020 makeup, but that's probably going to be my video next week. So if you want to see that, come back next Wednesday. To be clear, this wasn't a year that I was buying a whole lot of makeup. I don't think anybody was really buying all that much makeup. Just in general, I've also just been trying to cut back on how much makeup I buy just because I own so much of it. So this isn't necessarily products that came out in 2020, and in fact, most of them are not products that came out in 2020. They're products I was using a lot this year or discovered this year or just like was really a big fan of this year. So we've got a lot of products to talk about. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So to start off, I want to talk about primers. I have two. The first one, actually, I used it when I was putting on this makeup for this video, and it suffered a tragic fate. It's the Farsali Unicorn Essence. I dropped it on the ground and it all splattered everywhere, and then the dropper broke because the dropper is made out of glass. I think I kind of have to pretty much dump this out now, which is really sad because actually, obviously it's my 2020 video. I really was a huge fan of it. It says that the skin enhancing antioxidant serum. I don't know if it does all that, but I do really like it. Just like made my face like really tacky. It made me feel like my foundation kind of would like stick on better. Like I still don't know if I believe primers do stuff. Like I really want to do a test where I do like half a face with primer and half a face without primer. But I did kind of look at it. So I don't know if this is like a placebo effect, but I really did feel like when this like, it made my face tacky and like foundation went on a lot better. The other thing is this is like an old product, but it's one that I like somehow had never actually used until this year, but it's Benefit Professional. It's just the original, like the first one, not the luminous one. What I really like about the POREfessional is like a lot of the pore filling primers, there was like a speck of like, there was like a clump of dog hair on my eye, and I don't know if it was just like just appeared there or like has been there this whole time, but anyways. What I really like about the POREfessional is a lot of pore filling primers, I feel like they kind of have a tendency to sit on top of your skin, or like if you put on too much, they'll start pilling and like your foundation look will ball up on top of it. This one doesn't do that. Like it doesn't matter how much of this I put on, like I don't feel like I ever have that issue with it, and it just makes my skin feel like very smooth. And so I always feel like the foundation I'm putting on top of it feels very smooth. And again, I don't know if primers are placebo effects. I don't know if like I just think my foundation looks better because I like the way like primers make my skin feel, but if I had to pick primers, these are the two I really liked this year. Rest in peace to the Farsali. I might actually repurchase it. That's how much I liked it, and this shit was like expensive, so I'm kind of bummed about dropping it. But that's the thing. That's the one thing I will say is I don't like can you do droppers that are like plastic? Because like, yeah, I don't like stuff that's breakable, because as you're gonna see in this video, because I have two more products that are shattered, I have a tendency to drop things a lot. I'm very clumsy. I oftentimes will be taking my makeup to the bathroom to like balance, because I don't really have a counter in my bathroom. It's really just the sink, so I'll be like balancing stuff on the edge of the sink, and stuff has a kind of tendency to fall. So if it's like makeup itself has a tendency to break when you drop it, like powders, but if the packaging itself is brittle too, it like makes a huge mess. Like right now my bathroom is a complete war zone. There's like little shards of glass everywhere that I have to clean up, and then there's like the goo of the actual like primer. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. Also, this primer is just really fun to use. It's like bright pink and it smells really nice, and it's pink. It's just like a fun experience, and I feel like part of why I like makeup is just the experience of putting it on, right? Let's move on to foundations. The two foundations I'm going to talk about are the Too Faced Born This Way. If you've been on my channel at all before, you probably will have noticed I use this in almost every video. It's like a good match for me. I like the way it makes you feel. What I like about this is I feel like a lot of foundations that look good on camera don't translate very well to real life, and vice versa. This I feel like is like, it makes my skin like feel like still skin-like, and it still looks like skin, but I can like build it up if I really want to like get a lot of coverage for camera. But if I just want to have like a little bit for like day-to-day, it can like build up or down really well. So like I think for today I used like 2.5, maybe 3 pumps, but if I was gonna just like go out into the world, I would probably use like 1.5 at most. So yeah, I'm just like a big fan of like how it like actually will sink into your skin and like feel like skin, and like it's a very flexible foundation. And I also just really like the shade range. I feel like I have like a lot of like yellowy golden tones, and I feel like a lot of foundation like lines are a little too like red or pink for me. The Born This Way shade range is like a lot more yellow, gold, olive, so I just like, it's like one of the best matches I found for myself. So this is actually a pretty new bottle, because I finished one and ended up repurchasing it because I knew it was my perfect match and I was happy with it. For similar reasons, this is a good drugstore option. This is a Maybelline 24-hour foundation. I also really like this for the same reasons. It's like not as good as this one, but it's like pretty damn close, and it's the same kind of thing. I feel like it's a very flexible foundation. Like you can build it up, you can build it down. Looks good on camera, looks good in real life. It has a pretty good shade range. I've been using this a lot. And again, it's the same kind of thing. Like it really like, it doesn't sit on top. Like a lot of foundations kind of have a tendency to like, I feel like sit on top of your skin. This one doesn't, like sinks into your skin. It becomes really skin-like. And I just think it looks really good. I have like, I would say my skin is pretty like combo. So I have like dry patches and I have like oily bits. And I like, both of these are kind of like, they're not like super matte where you look like you're like dying. And they're also not like super dewy. Like I feel like they're very much like smack dab in the middle. So I just, they're both really adaptable foundations. And I think that's what I like about them. I like products that are easy to use. And I feel like it's hard to mess up with those foundations. Like they do a lot of the work for you, whereas I feel like some foundations, like if you don't blend them in properly, they look terrible, or you have to really like use like a whole bunch of like, your skin has to be moisturized, and then your primer has to be good, and like your base has to be like perfect before the foundation even has like a chance. And I don't like that. I just want to like be able to like slap a product on and like leave. So I like those for that reason. I feel like I'm talking really fast, which I have so many products. So for concealer, I'm gonna be really honest, the only concealer I tried a couple other things, but really the only concealer I've been consistently using is the Tarte Shape Tape. Everyone on YouTube has raved about this. It's like very full coverage. You have to be careful with it. Like don't like, I like dot on a couple dots and it's like more than enough for my under eyes. It's like, yeah, like if you put on too much of this, it's like cement, literally. But it does what I need to do, which is brighten my under eyes and really just cover up like dark circles. It's a good concealer. There's a reason everybody and their mom was raving about this a couple years ago. I love it, plan to use it until I run out and then probably find something to replace it with, because again, we don't have Ulta in Canada, so I can't get this in Canada. I got it when I was on a trip in the States, but I love her. She's good. She's a good concealer. She does what I need her to do. Between like a full coverage foundation and a full coverage concealer, I prefer a full coverage concealer, just because I'd rather my concealer be full coverage, because like where I put concealer, I want coverage anyways, whereas like usually foundation, I kind of just want to even out my skin, and like if I have a couple blemishes, like cover that up. But really, I'd rather have a heavy duty concealer. I don't really see the point in like low coverage concealers, you know? Like if I'm gonna be using concealer, I want it to conceal shit. And so like Tarte Shape Tape being like unmovable cement is like, I know it's a negative for some people, but for me it's a positive. I'm just drinking soda out of my probably definitely has dog hair in it cup, because that's my life. So for powders, I don't really have like a pressed powder. I know I've been using the Hourglass Ambient Light. I'm not gonna lie, I think that those powders are a little overrated. They're not worth, they're great, they do the job, but they're not really worth the price point. I think personally, like they're not like so much better than like cheaper powders, at least for me. So really the only one I'm going to be talking about is a loose powder. I'm not talking about any pressed powders. It's the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I use this in like every video. It's good stuff. First of all, like one of these, like it's like kind of expensive, but like one of these will last like forever. Like I've been using this every day and I have so much left. And what I just like about this is like it doesn't have any flashback. It looks good in photos. It looks good on camera. It looks good in person. Keeps my under eyes from creasing. Keeps me from getting oily on the spots I put it on. Like I don't put this on my whole face. I will usually use like pressed powders on the rest of my face, but I put this under my eyes to like set my concealer, and then I use it usually on like my T-zone and like on my chin, like just places I know like will get sweaty, or like foundation tends to like rub off a lot easier. And I just like haven't had no complaints. It's like really finely milled. It just feels really nice on your face. And yeah, there's no flashback, which is like the big thing with pressed powders, is making sure there's no flashback, and I've never had flashback with this. I feel like I didn't mention this, but every product that I'm wearing on my face right now is something that I've mentioned. So like I used both of the primers on my face before I smashed the Farsali one. I'm wearing the Born This Way foundation. I'm wearing the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm wearing the Laura Mercier powder. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is like bronzer and contour, and I'm gonna tell you which ones I'm wearing. So again, in all my videos, you've probably, in most of them, heard me talk about the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I've had this baby for years and years. Like this is still the cardboard packaging. They recently changed, or not recently, I think they've had the refillable packaging for like a year or 2 years even. But yeah, this is cardboard packaging still. So once like I run out of these, I'm gonna have to like get a new one. But the new ones, what I like about them is first of all, they come in duos now, so if you're not gonna use every shade, you can just get like a duo of like the 2 shades you use. But the new packaging is plastic, and then like the pans come out, so you can like replace like individual pans. Like I would love if I could just replace these 2 and then like keep using the other ones, but this is a great contour kit. I've used a lot of contour powders and like contour kits. This one I just really like. I feel like the shades are really good. The brightening powders do a great job of brightening under my under eyes, but like the contour powders are really like the stars of the show. They're cool toned enough to be really good for contour and like will feel really natural. And yeah, again, they just go on really easily. They're really pigmented. You don't have to use a whole lot to get a lot of impact. Like I've been using this for years and years, and I still have like, it's still got a lot of time left in her. The quality is really good. It's one that I know I can always rely on. Like sometimes like there are some contour powders that are really nice, but they're just like, you know, you have to play with them. Like if you, like they don't blend out easily or they get muddy. This has never been muddy on me. It's just good. I'm like incredibly fond of this. Okay, this is the one I really want to talk about. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzers are like my favorite thing in the world. This one I dropped and smashed. It's in the original bronzer color, so I'm just gonna like, but I still use it because it's like so good. And then I have this one in light bronzer, which I think I was trying to repurchase a bronzer and then I got light bronzer by accident, but I can still use this one if I just like really pile it on my face. So what I like about these is A, they smell divine, like they smell like going on vacation. They smell like very tropical. B, they're drugstore, so they're not that expensive, but they like have the impact of something that like you could get at Sephora. Like truly, like this is like unparalleled, such an iconic product. This is not like a dupe for something more expensive. Like this is like straight up, it should be more expensive. Like it is such a good bronzing powder. The original like bronzer shade is like my perfect contour. Like that's what I used to contour my face today. So good. It goes on so nicely. It isn't muddy. It just like blends right into your skin. It's like just so easy to use. The color is so good and it just smells really nice. When I first got into this, they had like really, they just had bronzer and they expanded to like light and dark bronzer. Now I think there's like 5 different shades. And so yeah, I'm really happy they expanded their shade range because this is like so good. Like there's not a product at Sephora that I would recommend more than I would just say go to like your local drugstore and get the Physicians Formula Better Bronzer. It's just like unparalleled. Such a good contour. Flawless. Unparalleled. Okay, so let's do blush next. I have 3 blush related products I want to talk about. I actually got really into blush this year. Like, I don't know if you can tell, I have blush on my nose. I decided to do the whole e-girl thing of putting blush on your nose, which I don't really usually do, but I kind of wanted to do it today. And I don't know if it looks good or if it looks like I'm sunburned, but I thought it was kind of cute. The first thing I'm talking about blush wise is the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. Lunar Beauty does not miss. Like there's not one product I've tried. I'll be honest, I haven't ordered any of the lip glosses or the lip products or the individual highlighters because I would get all my Lunar Beauty products from the Sephora website, like Sephora Canada, and they only had the palettes. They never had like the individual products or the lip products or anything like that. So I've really only tried like the eyeshadow palettes and this blush palette. But like every single product I have tried from Lunar Beauty is a hit. Like so gorgeous. Like first of all, the products are like impeccable. Like the powders are great. I literally have another Lunar Beauty product I'm gonna talk about, but just the packaging, like Manny puts so much effort into packaging and you can like really tell that like this man knows and loves packaging, puts so much thought into all of his products. And like if I pay for any of her products, especially if it's like a mid to high end price point, like I want the packaging to be nice, you know? And this is just, it's so pretty. Anyways, but like the actual blushes are so nice too. Like I just think that's a good range of blushes, first of all, and they're just different enough that like you can get like an abundance of like every blush kind of tone you'd ever want. Like you've got like peachy, you've got pink, you've got like more brown, you've got this like pure pink one, this one's kind of corally, this one's got like a bit of mauve to it. Like it's just like a really solid blush palette. The formula is really nice. Packaging is really nice. It's just like all the blushes you could need in like one little cute palette. Love that. Shout out to Manny, iconic. And then the next 2 I have are like individual blushes. The first one I want to talk about is the Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush. I have one in the shade Dolly. This is kind of my go-to blush color. I don't know if you can tell. I also have like, the next blush I'm going to talk about is also a sort of like similar like mauve-y color. This is such a nice blush. It like, I feel like with blush, it's very easy to go like full clown face because some blushes are just like super pigmented or like they're either like are not enough. There's not enough pigment, so you have to like really work for it, or there's just like too much pigment. So it's either like you put on like a little bit and it's like crazy, or you have to like keep digging your brush in to get any like speck of payoff. This has like enough pigment to be like really easy to work with, but it's also like not too much. Like it's like I've never put this on and been like, oh shit, I like went in too much. It just blends right into your skin, looks super natural. Like it just looks like you have like a natural flush to your skin. It just looks so good. Like I want to buy like all 3 more shades of this because it's just like, it's so beautiful. I just like, yeah, I don't know what the primer infused aspect of it is, but if that's what makes it like blend in and just look so like natural on your skin, then sign me up. The other thing I want to talk about is the Kat Von D or KVD. I'm sorry, I still call it Kat Von D Cosmetics. I know they're like KVD, Vegan Beauty Discovery, whatever the name is now, but like even though she's not associated with it anymore, God like bless, but I'm still gonna call it that. I'm sorry, I slip up. But this is their blush in Foxglove, which is again, that's kind of similar tone, but it's also the blush I'm wearing like on my face right now. I love this blush. It's again, the right amount of pigmentation. It's like goes right on. If you can probably tell, I don't love blushes that are like have like glitter in them. Sometimes I want to be a little more dewy, so blushes with sheen are nice. I have a small preference for matte though. Like obviously this is a matte blush. This is a little bit of a sheen to it, but not too much. As long as there's not like glitter in it, then I'm happy. And this is just like, again, it's an easy to blush to use. It goes on your skin so nicely. Doesn't look clownish. Really nice. Love this formula. It's such a good formula. So the next thing I want to talk about is highlighters. I only have one highlighter to talk about right now, and it's the Ofra highlighters. I have 3 right here. I might have a 4th one that I couldn't find, but those are the ones I said to bring out. I have Pillow Talk, I have Rodeo Drive, and I have, oh my god, this is opening and like dripping everywhere, and I have Beverly Hills. Right now I'm wearing Rodeo Drive on my like nose and on my cheekbones and like a little bit on my forehead and a little bit on my upper lip. The Ofra highlights are like blinding. Like I'm gonna swatch them because like look at that. They are blinding, and they are just so nicely milled. They just feel so luxurious. I'm not gonna open this one because again, I dropped this on the ground ages ago and it shattered, and I can't bring myself to throw it away because I think I'd used it like once or twice when I dropped it and it shattered. And these, like, not gonna lie, the one thing with Ofra is like I could do with like nicer packaging. It's literally just like a little plastic transfer, like transparent like cap, and then like it's just like the pan in like a little black container. Like it's very basic packaging, which is like fine. Like if the product is good, the packaging doesn't really matter. But again, like I dropped this once and it shattered, and I was just so sad about it because it was like, it wasn't like expensive, like it wasn't like a Anastasia highlight, but it also wasn't like cheap. Like it wasn't like I was getting a Maybelline highlight. Like it was like a decent amount of money to pay for it. But it's so sad about dropping that one. But they're blinding. Like if you want a highlight that makes you look like you're glowing from within, but also like enough to be seen in space, the Ofra highlights are for you. They just like, yeah, I have really grown into highlight lately. I think it's because I'm seeing myself on video so much more, and I really like the way my nose looks on video when there's like a nice highlighter on it. But yeah, these are like blinding highlighters. I cannot think of a highlighter I recommend more. The thing with highlighters for me, oh god, there's like highlighter dust everywhere. The thing with highlighters for me is I don't want glittery highlights. That's a theme in this video. I don't like glitter in my products. I sometimes want glitter in my eyeshadow, but even then, like I much prefer like a sheen or a shimmer. And the Ofra highlights don't have glitter in them, or at least the ones I have don't have any glitter, but they make your skin glow like from the gods. And like I know that's like something people say about like Becca highlighters or other highlighters. The Ofra highlighters are like, they are not fucking around. Like they're not a subtle highlight. They are like for people that want people to know they're highlighted. And if I put on highlighter, like I want to be seen, like I want you to be able to like see me from like a mile away. Ofra highlighters, so good, highly recommend. And let's move on to, I'm just going in the order of my face routine, so let's do eyeshadow primer next. The two primers I've been using on my eyes the most this year are the Urban Decay Primer Potion and the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Both excellent. I just wanted to pick one because like again, I don't want to have like multiple products for every single one of these categories, but they're both really good. This one, I edged it out a little bit just because the Painterly Paint Pot is more like the shade of my eyelid, or a little bit lighter actually, but this, yeah, this is just, it's excellent. I like that, I like the packaging better because I don't like having to dip in because then you get like all your bacteria in there, and I don't like sticking my fingers and stuff that's gonna go on my eyes. Yeah, just like it has a little thing, an applicator, you put it on your eyes. This is in the shade Eden, so it's like a little lighter than my skin tone, which I kind of like because it like makes my eyelids brighter, which I like because then like when I put color on top, it just like it pops a little more. This stuff says it'll keep your eyeshadow on for 24 hours. I've never tested that, but I would believe it just because like eyeshadow primer is actually a primer that I do believe in. Like like when I don't have eyeshadow primer on, my eyeshadow creases like a bitch. Doesn't crease with this. Keeps my eyeshadow looking really smooth, really nice. Big fan, does the job. And again, I really like the shade Eden because it's just like, it also brightens, which I quite like. And I don't have this problem myself, but for people that have veins on their eyelids, I've heard people say this is really good for like covering that up too. So good eyeshadow primer. So I have gotten like a billion eyeshadow palettes this year because I have like an issue that makes me like compulsively buy eyeshadow palettes because I don't know why. I don't think there's a shade I don't have at this point, but I keep buying more because I have like brain issues. But there are two that I wanted to highlight in this video. The first one is the much beloved Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. First of all, beautiful packaging, love it, adore it. Second of all, you can probably tell from how well used this is. I love this palette. It is a palette that I'm currently wearing on my eyes. I have, let's see, I have Ginger in my crease, and then I have Sponsored and Dwellers on my lid, and then I have Credit, just like deepening the outer corners, and then I have Soleil in my inner corner and under my brow bone, and then I have Wigglies like on my lower lash line. What I like about this palette is I feel like it's just like very well curated. Like there are like a lot of Anastasia palettes, we can really only, like my Modern Renaissance palette for example, I can do like maybe 2 looks with that. And a lot of the, I feel like Anastasia palettes kind of fall into that category of like, you know, they're very similar tones. This I feel like is just such a well curated palette. I feel like you can do so many different looks with it. Every time I've done a look with it, it's been a different look. Like I've never done a look that's looked like a different look that I've done with this palette. Like I just feel like it brings up my creativity, but it's not like the kind of palette where the colors don't really like go together at all, or like you look at it and you're confused or you like don't know what you want to do with it. Like I just feel like it's a very easy to use, like friendly palette in the sense that like there are a lot of obvious looks that you can make with it, and then there's also like if you put your creativity into it and like pick colors that you maybe wouldn't necessarily put together at first glance, it also looks really good. Like I just feel like it's so versatile, it's so good. It was very different for Anastasia. Like it's just like Jackie killed it with this palette, and like the formula is very good. The thing is, I also have Anastasia palettes in my worst of 2020 video just because like I feel like they used to be very consistent with their eyeshadow quality, and that's like changed lately where like I feel like some palettes just have like a lot, like they just aren't the same quality. But the shimmers and the mattes just blend out so well and are so easy to use. The shimmers are like the Anastasia shimmers that I love, that are like, you know, soft enough to go on your eyelid and just pack a punch. I think I struggle a little bit with Zam sometimes just because it's a little bit chunkier, but I just feel like if you go in with your finger or like, you know, like use the right brush, it's beautiful. Like I cannot stop raving about this palette. It is such a good palette. The other palette I wanted to talk about, again, Lunar Beauty. It's the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. I think I've talked about this in other videos. I don't usually keep palette or like makeup outer packaging. I just think it takes up space. I'd rather recycle it, but I could not get rid of the outer packaging for this because it's so beautiful. It like, Manny really takes in, I feel like, the whole makeup user experience into account when he makes products, because you can tell he put so much effort into the design of this. Like it's beautiful. And like, yeah, like obviously like if a product is beautiful but doesn't perform, like it's not worth buying. But I feel like this, like the products at Lunar Beauty are just so good and the packaging is so beautiful. And like, yeah, like I'm obviously between a palette that's nice with okay packaging and a palette that's nice and has like a stellar packaging. I'm gonna prefer the one with nice packaging because like, yeah, like packaging is kind of a shallow thing to care about, but I'm not gonna not care about it, you know? Like it's part of the experience. Like when I have so much makeup, I'm obviously gonna like reach for stuff that like I just like looking at, you know? It's like, it's part of like the reason like I have a makeup collection is I like collecting things. I like stuff that looks nice. I like stuff that has like I feel like thought has been put into this, and like every single thing Manny puts out, there's so much thought into it. So like, just this is beautiful. The other thing is I just like, this one like looks less used than my, the Jackie Aina palette because I have used it less, but I just love this color story. I feel like it's so unique. Manny when he talked about making this palette, he said that he named every shade after like a pop culture witch, and it's just like, yeah, like I love the tones. I just feel like this is so unique to my collection. Like I have a lot of palettes that I could like swap out for each other that like do the exact same thing for me. They're neutrals. Sorry, my camera stopped recording, so I don't know if that like lighting and stuff changed, but sorry. What I was saying was, yeah, it's just like, this is so unlike anything else in my collection in like a good way. Like I look at this palette and it makes me want to be creative. It makes me want to like try things that I don't usually try. It makes me want to go outside of the box. And like I said, Manny's formula is so good. Like these are like, the mattes just go on so flawlessly. Purples are like notoriously hard shades to make, and it's like very easy to get like a streaky, shitty purple, but these purples go on so easily. This green is so unique to my collection. This blue, like this blue turquoise color is so nice. This Fiona is just like such a deep, rich color. Like I love this palette. So nice, so outstanding, just like perfect. Like, and I believe this was like, it came out Halloween of last year, so it wasn't quite a 2020 release, but it was like close enough, right? So good, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Cannot recommend it enough. Like literally, I love Lunar Beauty products. Like now that he's like no longer is selling in Sephora, I might actually go out of my way to order from his website, which is not something I normally do, just because like shipping to Canada is kind of expensive, especially if it's not from like a big retailer or like a retailer that sells like multiple chains. Like getting from individual brand websites is kind of hard in Canada just because the shipping usually adds up and it's like kind of annoying. But I love the Lunar Beauty products so much that it makes me want to like do that. I have so much trust for Manny and his products because I can tell he puts so much love into them. Sorry, that turned into like a kind of like a rant about how much I just love Lunar Beauty and Manny MUA. Sorry, my bad. Moving on. So I have two mascaras that I wanted to talk about. One is the Benefit Roller Lash. Again, I will say the one thing with mascara is like, you don't need to go to Sephora to get mascara. Like these are both high-end mascaras just because those are the ones I was using this year, but like honestly, any like Maybelline mascara is like just as good as these, frankly. You really don't need to go to the, like mascara is the one thing where I'm like, I'm not even gonna pretend, like I feel like people who are like, you can get just as good makeup at the drugstore. For some things they're like a little bit exaggerating. Some things I really do think like, there's a like, it's not like it's bad at the drugstore, but there's like a difference between drugstore quality and like Sephora quality or like high-end quality. I don't think there is with mascara. Like I think mascara is such a matter of preference, but like ultimately whatever your preference is, you can find it at the drugstore and at Sephora. So like if you don't want to like spend Sephora prices, like don't, like frankly. But so apologies about that. Apologies to both these are like Sephora mascaras. If you don't want to pay these prices, like don't. Like you don't need to pay $20 for mascara, I'm telling you this. But if you want to pay like a lot of money for mascara, Benefit Roller Lash is very nice. That's a very interesting brush. I guess what I like about this a lot the most is just like, yeah, it really does curl my lashes. That's the thing, is like I have a lot of lash. I don't really struggle with like issues of like thickening or lengthening, but I really do like really want them to just like curl up. I don't really use eyelash prime or eyelash curlers, so like I just like this like curls them and we'll put product on them and just make them like very va-va-voom. Nice, excellent, quite like it. The other one I want to talk about is like, unfortunately, like I hate to talk about this because again, Pat McGrath is like heinously expensive, but I can't not talk about this because like, even though I just made a whole spiel about how I don't think you need to get high-end mascara, I paid the stupid amount of money that this costs in full size because I'm almost done with this one. Like it's like on its last legs and I liked it so much that I got it full size. This is the Pat McGrath Fetishized Mascara. It is what I'm currently wearing on my lashes. This is like a mini size of it. I ordered the full size and I'm gonna look up how much that costs because I wanna call myself an idiot on camera. I love that the Sephora app is in my money category. Not because it's a thing that has anything to do with saving money, but because it's somewhere where I go to spend money. The full size of this is $40 fucking. which is like outrageous. It is heinous. In my defense, I ordered it during a Sephora sale. So full size, I got it like 20% off, but still, am I crazy? Like, yes, I love this. It is my favorite mascara of the year, but like, oh my God. Oh my, I have a problem. Holy shit. But also like, this is so good. Like, I'm sorry. I've used this so aggressively that like the fucking brush has started to bend. Like, I don't know if you can tell, it's like leaning this way because I use it so aggressively, but like, I just love this because it's not clumpy, but it makes my lashes look so thick, so curled, so beautiful, but it like doesn't clump. Like, my issue with a lot of mascaras is they give you your lashes a lot of like volume and a lot of length, but they also clump them so bad, and I don't feel like this does this. I know some people have issues with this flaking, but I've never had that problem. I like adore this, and like that's literally why I bought a $40 mascara like an absolute lunatic, is just because like this does stuff to my eyeballs that I can't, sorry, I couldn't say no, okay? I want to have beautiful eyeballs. And this made my eyeballs more beautiful than all the other mascaras I used this year. So I like had to get it, and I'm sorry. I feel bad about it. Like, it's such a stupid thing to spend money on. Like, literally, like, go spend $3 on Essence Last Paradise. And yeah, it's not the same. Mental illness, I guess. Brain issues. Lobotomize me. I don't know. Fucking whatever. Okay. So brow products, again, as we know from my previous videos, if you have a history of being on my channel and following my cinematic journey, I don't really use brow products all that much. The one thing I've been using consistently this year, since I discovered it and realized I really liked it in my brow video, is the Colourpop Clear Brow Boss Gel. Again, I have so much brow that I don't really need color. I don't really need to add to it. I don't want to do any of those things. Like, frankly, it's another step to my routine that I don't want to care about. But this is just really easy to use. I just like glide it on through my like brow hairs, which is what I've done in this video, and it just keeps them in place, which is all I really need. Is I need something that keeps my brow hairs in place, because there's so many of them that they have a tendency to like move around because I touch my face a lot and you get all like jumbled and wonky, but like I just want them to stay in one place, and if they stay in one place, I think my brows look fine. So that's what I need out of a product. This does it at a very cheap price point. I don't need to pay like Anastasia Beverly Hills prices. I don't want to pay Anastasia Beverly Hills prices. Like, I don't need anything spectacular. I just need something that like keeps my brow hairs in place, which this does, and like doesn't make my brows feel like crunchy, which I've seen a lot of like other brow products I've tried have a tendency to do that. Like, other brow gels will make my brows feel very crunchy. This doesn't make them feel crunchy, but it keeps them in place. So I like it. I recommend it. That's all I have for brows. I'm sorry, I don't have any pencil recommendations. Go to someone that needs those products, because I don't. Okay, so eyeliner. I have two things to talk about. I have some high-end stuff in this video, and I feel like such an ass for it. So for pencil liners, I highly recommend the Marc Jacobs highliners, because they're just so creamy. Like, honestly, like, I can't, like, I'm not gonna lie and say this isn't the creamiest fucking shit in the world. Like, I know they're kind of pricey, but oh my God, they're so creamy. They're so creamy. They're really creamy. They glide on. They don't tug on your eyelid. They also stay in your waterline really well. Like, they don't fade. Like, a lot of pencil liners will go in your waterline like just fine, but they like fade really quickly. These don't. They like, when you put them on, they stay on, which is something I have like issues with a lot of pencil liners. These don't do that. So yeah, Marc Jacobs gel liners. Like, I feel like a lot of like designer makeup products are like, you're paying for the designer, or you're paying for like the packaging. Even like in the Marc Jacobs line, like, I think there's stuff that's highly like overrated. I have a Marc Jacobs product that I'm gonna be talking about in my worst of 2020 video, but like the gel liners are genuinely like really good products. You're not just paying for like the branding or the designer. Like, they're actually like really good. And then for liquid liner, I have it's just the KVD tattoo liner. I like stopped using this when all the shit went down with Kat Von D, like not being an anti-vaxxer and her whole problematic shit going on. But now that she's gone from the company, I feel like happy to be able to go back to using them, because like genuinely, like, I know people had dupes and like stuff they like recommended to replace it with, but like I just like, this is my favorite eyeliner, man. The only thing with this is like, my only issue is that they have a tendency like to dry out easily. Like, this is dry. This is starting to dry out, which is the one I use. This is a new one that I got, but I just like really like the brush on this. It's a brush tip. I really struggled to like make even wings. I'm using it today, although it was the drying one, so I don't know how good the wings look, but I find it makes it a lot easier to have even wings, and to have wings that just like are on one swoop, are like dark and nice, especially when you first get it. Like, again, like these dry out really quickly. I almost feel like if you got like the minis are almost a better deal, just because again, they kind of dry out. But when they're working, they work so good. I don't have a better liquid liner recommendation. It's just my go-to. I quite like these. All we have left is lip products. I have a lot of lip products to talk about, actually. So let's do lip pencils first. So for lip pencils, I have two recommendations. My ultimate favorite lip pencils are the MAC lip liners. I have a bunch. I'm wearing Whirl right now on as my lip liner, but these are really really creamy. They just glide on super creamy. They have there's a lot of like variety in shade range. The one thing I really like about these is they last forever. Like a lot of lip liners that are creamy will not stay long, and the ones that like stay on for a long time and like really like keep your lip line in place are like really hard to put on. Like they tug at your lip and you just have to like really work with them. These are both creamy and like really long lasting, which is what I love about them. And I also find the price point to be like very reasonable, like because it's a pencil. Like I don't want to pay $25 for a pencil. These, I believe, unless they jacked up the price, but last I checked I think they were like 18, which like I think is like a fairer price point, especially if you get them on sale. MAC has like 20, 25, even 30% off sales a lot. So yeah, these are just like really good. If you wanted a cheaper option, like these are almost as good. They're the Colourpop lip pencils. Again, same sort of deal. The Colourpop lip pencils are like incredibly creamy, incredibly long lasting, and they come at a much cheaper price point. I believe they used to be $5. I think they're maybe $6 now on the Colourpop website. But again, Colourpop has like 20% off sales all the time. They have deals all the time. So if you just want to like expand your lip liner collection, these are great. They have, again, a pretty good shade range, do the job, stay like, they're really creamy, really easy to put on, but like keep your lip line in place. And once they're on, like they don't really move. Big fan of those. For bullet lipsticks, like frankly, okay, I'm not picky with bullet lipsticks. Like I know some people are. I really want a bullet lipstick that's just gonna like, it's not too creamy, but it's also not too matte. Like I want something that's like, will stay on, but will also like not dry my lips out. I don't think like bullet lipsticks are something you need to pay a lot of money for. Like I have MAC ones, I have KVD ones, I have like even a couple like designer ones. I don't think like really, honestly, I don't think you really need to pay all that much money. I feel like, again, you can get a pretty good bullet lipstick at any price point. So again, for like price's sake, I have to say like, I like the Colourpop Luxe lipsticks because the packaging like just feels very heavy and very luxurious, but they're still like Colourpop prices. These also just go on like really nicely. They're, again, creamy enough that they don't make your lips feel super dry, but they also like are not like sheer. They put on like a good amount of color. Like, I hate sheer lip products. Like I never want, if I'm gonna put on a lip product, I want it to be visible. I hate when lip products are sheer. So these are so good. Their predecessors, the lippy sticks, again, these were like the product that made me fall in love with Colourpop, and also with makeup. Really, like some of the first products I remember getting and geeking out on and like putting on and then taking photos of myself were Colourpop lippy sticks. I got like 6 at one time. One of my first ever like online makeup orders was a Colourpop order with 6 of their lippy sticks, and I just put them on all, and I was so excited. And they work so well. Again, they're like creamy enough to go on and be comfortable, but like matte enough to like not move around and be really full coverage. If you want a bullet lipstick, like you can't go wrong with Colourpop. That's not to say all of their lip products are good. Like I have some worst lip products that are gonna be my worst video that are also Colourpop, but like you can't go wrong with the bullet lipsticks or the lippy sticks. The Luxe lipsticks are so good. In terms of liquid lipsticks, I have 2 things to talk about. This is the one product that I know for sure is a 2020 product. The Rare Beauty lip souffles are so nice. I am wearing the shade Fearless right now, which is this one, on my lips. I got this in like a little duo that they did, I think for the holidays, which I quite liked. So I've been wearing these a lot. I like this one especially because it's like basically my lip color. But the things I'm going to talk about kind of show up better with this red one, which is Inspire. But what I like about these is like they don't feel like any lip product I've ever tried. Like they're very pillowy. They're almost like souffle is a good word for them because they're almost like the texture is just so hard to describe. It's like foamy almost. But when they go on your lips, you don't feel them. They disappear, but they still give your lips like really good coverage. But what I've also noticed is when they start to fade, like when you drink through the day or just like you lick your lips or whatever, like as they start to fade, they fade away very naturally. Like you don't have like a weird like line on your lips the way you can get with a lot of like liquid products. And they also leave like, again, this one's my lip color, so you can't really see it as much, but with like this one, it leaves like a really like nice like stain, like you've just been like, I don't know, like eating a popsicle or something. So they like just fade very naturally, very comfortably. They're not like the fullest coverage product, but they also have enough coverage where I feel like, again, I don't like wearing sheer lip products, and these are definitely not sheer. So like, yeah, like I feel like if I finish these, I would definitely like go get the full sizes because they're really nice. I've heard really good things about other Rare Beauty products. Like I was really apprehensive because, again, like I feel like a lot of celebrities are putting out makeup lines now and they're kind of like half-assed or not really thinking about it, but you can tell like Selena Gomez put like a lot of effort into Rare Beauty, and like it really shows from the products. I want to try some of the other things, but I will say the lip souffles are really nice. The other liquid lipsticks I want to talk about are the Joseph Colors liquid lipsticks. Again, I got a bunch of these when I went to the States from Ulta, and this was like a couple years ago. Like I'm obviously not going to the States, COVID times, but I kind of go phases where I use these a lot and then I forget about them and then I use them again, and then like I rediscovered them this year and they're just like so good. Like I think this is my favorite matte lipstick formula, like liquid lipstick formula, just because they go on so comfortably and so like with so much pigment. It's like one swipe and you have color, and they stay on forever. Like once these are on, they do not budge. And I love that. Like the thing with a lot of liquid lipsticks that don't budge is like they're really uncomfortable, and I feel like I've had people say these are uncomfortable, but I don't have a problem with them at all. Like these are the most comfortable, like full matte bulletproof like liquid lipsticks in the world. Like cannot recommend them enough. Like, I want to have every shade of this like in human existence. They're so good. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about glosses because I am not a gloss connoisseur. I have a couple glosses that I like the Buxom glosses, but I just don't wear gloss enough to feel like I have enough expertise to really tell you what gloss to buy. I also just feel like glosses are kind of hard to wear with masks because it just sticks to them. But if you wanted a gloss connoisseur, I highly recommend Nisi Pisa. She knows her glosses. She's obsessed with glosses. I think her blood at this point is probably like lip gloss. So if you wanted gloss opinions, go to her channel. Oh, also speaking of YouTubers, this whole video, like I know she didn't invent the concept of best and worst videos, but I got inspired to make this and my worst of 2020 video because I was watching Smoky Glow's Hannah's Glowmas videos. So also check her out because that's where I got the idea to do these videos. Again, she didn't invent this concept. It's a very basic concept, but I watched her videos. That's where I got my inspiration, and she has some really awesome product recommendations. And I also just love Hannah's channel. So like, yeah, highly recommend. Go check out Smoky Glow. I will link her and Nisi Pisa both in the description. Okay, I think that's all. The only products I have left are setting sprays. Again, I have been incredibly consistent with setting sprays this year. This is nothing new. It is nothing that the makeup community has never heard of before, but I use the MAC Fix Plus. Like, I have like tiny little drops of this left at the bottom. But the MAC Fix Plus is what I use after I put on my base to kind of blend in my like bronzer and highlighter and blush into my skin. And it does the job. It's like really great. It's very moisturizing. This is also very good for like wetting your brush if you want to use like a wet brush for eyeshadow, or if you want to use it as like a mixing medium. It's just like a very versatile product. Love it. Have already repurchased another one. The other thing is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Again, setting spray is one of those products where I'm like, I want to do a test to see if it does anything, but I feel like this does. Like, I don't think it's a placebo, just because like I put this on and my makeup has not budged all night, and also I've like fallen asleep on like white pillows, and like my makeup hasn't like left a stain, which I feel like means that it really is like locking shit in place and like keeping it from moving around. Incredibly consistent. I've been buying this for years and years and years. I'm on like my 4th or 5th bottle. This is also like, I think there's like this much left, and I already have a refill because it's just like, it's so good. It's so incredibly consistent product. Urban Decay has kind of fallen off recently, but like I will always go back to them for this product because it's so good. I can't think of a setting spray that I like more. So yeah, shout out Urban Decay. I feel like I've been talking a lot, and I've also been talking very fast, so I apologize for that. But yeah, those are my favorite products that I've been using this year. Like I said, next week on Wednesday, I'll be doing my worst of 2020 video because I do upload every Wednesday. So if you wanted to check that out, subscribe. I would love to see you back next week. Otherwise, if you could like this video, comment down below what your favorite products of 2020 were. I would love to hear them. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye!